How's it going, everyone? My name is Jermaine. Today I'm going to talk about how I made my latest short film, Playtime. So how did I make Playtime? So let me start from the beginning. I wrote the script in a couple of days. I've done 2 revisions, and the reason why I've done that is because I had to work very quickly because the actors that I wanted to work with were only available for a certain amount of time, and I really wanted to work with these actors, so I had to move quickly in order to get them on the day I wanted to shoot. For the location, I rented out an Airbnb for 3 days. First day I went there, scoped it out, whipped my shot list, composed all my shots, understood what I wanted to get throughout the day. The second day, the actors arrived, so we shot the whole film on the second day, and the third day, we had to be at the property by about 10 AM, so we just packed up and left. It's crazy because in prep for this film, it was just completely rushed. Everything was just done so quick, from writing the script to getting the actors together to filming. The only thing that took quite a bit of time was the editing. All right, so I'm gonna talk about the equipment that I used to make this film. I shot this film on the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K. I used a Samyang 24mm cinema lens. It's my favorite lens so far. I love this lens. I love the look I'm getting out of it. And coupled with the Tiffin 1/4 Black Pro Mist, I just love the softy, silky look that it gave me. Also as well, I picked up the Tilta Mini. I think it's called the Tilta Mini matte box. I got it just to cut out the glare from the lights. In my previous film, I was suffering a lot of glare, so I looked into what I can get to eliminate that. And the matte boxes around were either too big, too heavy, or too expensive for me to use. So Tilta came out with this mini matte box, which I purchased. It was very affordable, and it does the job. I used the Atomos Shinobi as my field recorder. I used a tripod from Manfrotto, and I used the head from Manfrotto, and I used a very cheap slider that I got from Amazon. When I was using the slider, I felt I was getting a lot of jitters in my footage, which I wasn't really happy with. So that's the reason why I don't really recommend it. But if you want a cheap slider, you don't want to spend a lot of money on one, and you're willing to spend a lot of time in getting the correct movements that you want, then yeah, maybe go and get it. Maybe purchase a slider. The reason why I didn't opt to use a gimbal is because I felt like with a slider, I had more control over the shots that I wanted to get. I was able to pull focus a lot better. Now with the Tilta Nucleus Nano, it's going to be a very little quick review. The best thing I can say is that it just works. It works. It's wireless follow focus, and I bought like a little attachment to go onto the little rails that I have, which I can connect the focus wheel to. So that came in handy. The only thing is that the battery life doesn't really last that long. So I was having to change batteries and recharge batteries throughout the whole day on the shoot. That could be a problem. That might be a reason why you want to go mechanical. But for me, I felt like it definitely worked. It was definitely helping me get the shots that I wanted to get for the rest of the day. Now the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, it's an amazing camera, man. I feel like I don't need to upgrade. I love the image coming out of it. I love the raw workflow, and I don't really see myself upgrading for a long time. If you want me to do a more in-depth review about the camera itself, just let me know and I'll get it made. Yeah, so for lighting, I used the Godox SL60W, and I used the Aperture Mini Light Dome 2, and I used a cheap little light stand from Amazon. I was very pleased with the results I got. This setup gives me like a really nice soft light, and that's what I'm looking for, man. A nice soft light that's easy to set up, and we're ready to go. I also used haze in a can, which came in handy, man. I used that one whole can throughout the whole shoot, man. It was just brilliant. I loved it. It added another layer of depth, I feel, in the image. So I was very pleased with that. Now let's talk about the day of the shoot. Again, I was rushing throughout the whole day. I felt like I overshoot too much. I just wanted to get as much coverage as I possibly could. So when I come into the edit, I am not kicking myself wishing I could have got that shot. But as usual, there wasn't enough time, and I did miss some of the shots that I really wanted to get. Towards the end of the film, I wanted there to be a bit of action. I wanted the 2 characters to have a little scuffle, a little fight, and I wanted her to reach and finally click on the red button. But as usual, I just didn't have enough time, man. So I had to change on the fly. But next time, in my next film, hopefully I'll plan a lot better. That's another tip I'll say. Make sure you plan just for enough time throughout the day. So that's another thing. Just make sure you're confident and you give clear instructions when you're directing your friends or actors. It just makes things a lot smoother for them and for you and yourself, and it actually builds confidence in yourself to keep on going throughout the day. Making a film on your own, where it's just you, a couple of lights and actors, I don't want to think about the gear that I'm using too much. I just want stuff to work. I feel like with Blackmagic camera and the raw workflow, I'm allowed to make more mistakes on set, and I can easily correct them in post. So I can mess up the ISO, I can mess up the white balance. It doesn't matter because because I'm working with RAW now, I can just easily jump in Premiere Pro or jump in DaVinci Resolve and fix those issues in post. So let's go into the edit of this film. It took me quite a long time to put this film together in the edit. I used Premiere Pro to edit with. I color graded in Premiere Pro as well. I didn't mess around too much with the color. What I did is just I toggled with the exposure and the contrast a bit. I messed around with the raw settings, so I did change the ISO on some shots. I did change the white balance a bit on some shots. I did change the contrast on some shots as well, but I didn't actually go too crazy with the color grade. I stupidly forgot to record scratch audio on set. So all the sounds that you hear throughout the whole film, apart from the music obviously, is either me recording in my kitchen or my front room, or me picking up these free sounds from Soundly. I'm a Soundly Pro member. If you don't know about Soundly, it's a plugin or an app that allows you to manipulate and drag audio files right into Premiere Pro. It definitely made my life easier when I was trying to look for different sounds to enhance my film. If you want me to go more in depth about how I edited this film, then let me know in the comments below. And if you want to ask me any questions about anything to do with filmmaking, let me know in the comments below and I'll get back to you. And my name's Jermaine, and I'll see you again next week. Take care, goodbye.